Welcome everyone to today's session where we talk about the new beta reporting inside of Omnisend. We're glad to have you here. Thank you for making the time. We'll do a couple housekeeping things first, but the reason we're talking about new reporting today is, well, why? Well, it's because you, our customers, have asked for it. So we pride ourselves here at Omnisend on being a customer-centric organization. You tell us things, we take all the feedback, positive, negative, medium, requests, we take it all to heart and we try to figure out how to make your lives easier so that you can increase your sales with really less effort here. And this is really what led us to improving our reporting. And as you see, it's in beta feature. We've got more to come as well. But our goal with the new reporting was not to make it all-inclusive, encompassing every single statistic you could possibly need or want or ever stumble across. Our goal was to make the reporting usable for you, make it more intuitive, give you the data that you need to increase your sales, to make more informed marketing decisions without just overburdening you with a bunch of things you'll never use, never look at, and just make it seem like it's cooler than all that. So we hope you like it. During today's presentation and demo, we're gonna do an actual live demo of the new reporting. I'll do intros here in just a second with Marty Bauer, who's going to do that demo for you. My name is Greg Zackwitz. I'll do very little talking. We do have questions for you today as well. So please, if you have any questions, we had a couple submitted before the program today. We will address those during the program. However, if you have any live questions, please, there's a Q&A functionality on your Zoom webinar bar. So please use that, submit your questions. We also have a couple of our support staff here behind the scenes that will answer any questions that you might have related to those things as well. So we'll try to answer any questions you have, but please use the Q&A function versus the chat function if at all possible. And we hope to have your engagement with us today. Real quick, again, my name is Greg Zackwitz, Senior E-commerce Expert here at Omnisend. I'm going to do very little talking today, which is perfect for me. I'm going to hand the reins mostly over to my colleague Marty Bauer here. He's our Director of Sales and Partnership, and he's going through these reports a lot more than I am. So he's working directly with customers and with our partners here, helping companies realize how much sales they can increase using Omnisend. And part of that is reporting and making more informed decisions. So Marty, I'm gonna let you intro yourself real quick, say hi to the audience here, and then we'll kick it over for a demo if that's okay.
Absolutely. Awesome. Greg, good to see you. And thanks for the introduction and getting us started here. And as I'm going to pull this up, just make sure I can share. If we can just make sure that I can share my screen, I'll be able to take over from there.
Let me stop sharing here.
But yeah. So Greg, thanks for the introduction. As always, and there's a couple of key things that we want to make sure we talk through today. But before we get it started, just if you do have additional questions, we got several submitted in advance, which I thought were pretty spot on. Not the basic stuff. I can tell people are already going through it. But a couple of key things I wanted to make sure that we touch on for sure is, number one is this is now live for any customer, any paying customer that has an Omnisend account. You'll be able to see this live inside of your account in the beta form. I'll show you exactly what that means. So it's live for you now. It's an important thing that one of the things we heard as we were talking to customers and getting feedback is it was very, very important. And we learned our lesson here to not just turn something on and turn something off the same day. So for 30 days at least, I think we're going to finalize the exact date probably tomorrow, but for at least the next 30 days, you will have access to both. You'll have access to traditional reporting, what we call traditional or classic reporting now, what we have, as well as you have full access to the new beta reporting. So you don't have to change overnight. You can start kicking the tires and getting used to what that new reporting looks like. You still have the same report. So if there's something month end or year end that you're really dependent in your workflows on our existing reporting, number one, I think you're really going to like the new stuff, but also you're still going to have that for the next 30 days. So that was one of the big pieces of feedback. The other big thing that Greg just alluded to was when we set out, we did not set out to build the most comprehensive analytics and reporting engine out there. We did not set out to be better than X platform or Y platform. That was not the goal. The way that we work and the way that our approach here is let's go talk to hundreds of customers and partners. And we did. So what we did over the last, say, 6 or 9 months, as we started to really solidify what was going to be a part of this new dashboard and this new analytic report, or our new reports release, we did not go out and try to become the most comprehensive X, Y, and Z and have every bell and whistle and part of the tank that you needed to. What we did is we listened to hundreds of customers and partners, our agency partners and freelancers who use us for multiple stores, and said, what do you need? What do you want this to look like? What do you need to help you perform better? And that's what we built. So we're real proud of this. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is this a huge step forward? It absolutely is. And the feedback that I've heard directly talking to a lot of our customers, both large customers, small customers, new customers, as well as existing partners, is the reporting is actually very helpful. So those are the key things. And then what we'll do now in the next maybe 15 minutes is touch on some of the things that can have impact for you today, how you can look at these today and go from there. So if you can see my screen, so I'm just in a demo account here, so you'll see demo information. Hopefully your information will be a lot less lumpy than my demo store here. Hopefully you have very smooth and up into the right performance. But if you're used to coming into Omnisend, here's your main dashboard. As mentioned, you'll notice over here, you have this new reports beta tag. As I mentioned, for the next 30 days, you're going to see this as a standalone reporting engine. So you have two. You have the classic and the new reporting. Classic reporting exists as it has. So here's the new reporting. So, and if you're in there, if you haven't had a chance to take a look yet in the past couple of days, or maybe it just got turned on, I think we're turning on the final accounts today to beta, the 17th. You'll see tooltips and you'll see a walkthrough. So you'll see a guide in app. I'd encourage you to take those 8 or 9 steps just to get a couple of quick tooltips and familiarity there. However, we're going to dive into what those are today. So now that I'm on the new reports, you'll see a couple things in here. Number one is you'll see, if you're on the standard plan, you'll see that there's a lot of new reporting that used to be on the pro plan only. We've included a lot of those advanced reports into our standard plan. And we've added a lot of new reporting and analysis and charts in trend lines for all reporting, for both standard, pro, and our email send volume plan as well. So in here, you'll see a couple of things. So once you're in the new reports on the sales, this is your main dashboard. We'll walk through a couple of things in here, lots of charts, but I want to highlight a couple of things that I think are the most impactful that will help you, and probably the top requested things when it came to this new release. The number one requested thing is custom time period. So if you recall on our main dashboard now, you're limited to say 30 or 7 to 30 days time period. Now you can see all of your store performance. You can see a custom time period. So let's say you're coming up on year end, and whether this is you're the owner of the store or whether you're an e-commerce manager and you need to report to your team how you've performed this month, this quarter, this year, you'll be able to see all of that in here. So you can see this year, full annual year reporting. You can see that in here. So right now it just defaults to 30 days, but I'm looking at, all right, here's the full year. And you can see this is a demo store that we had a little bit of a lull in there. But you can see from January 1, you can also change this to monthly. So let's say you want to see monthly reporting, how are we doing month over month, week over week, year over year, if you want to do that, or even quarter. So you can do that. I'm just going to pick the last 90 days here. So that's one big requested feature we had, which is give us custom time periods. We delivered on that. You'll notice that here, you'll see your store revenue. We have this in the old reporting. We've separated this out from Omnisend revenue and not from Omnisend revenue. There's a couple key things that you'll notice in there, but that's a really important distinction. So one of the questions we got in advance is, what does the from Omnisend revenue mean? That's revenue that's directly attributed to your emails, your SMS, or your web push notifications that you are sending from your Omnisend account. Not Omnisend revenue is any revenue that's not attributed to that. So it could be from other marketing campaigns you have, some in-person stuff. We were just at a trade show or a market this week with a bunch of our customers out in Houston, Texas. And it could have been in-person stuff. It could be leads that are coming in from Facebook or Google Ads and things like that. So we separate those out. And then you as the marketer, you can see here your total store revenue. You want to see the impact of what are those actual revenue per placed order breakdown. What does that look like? You can see that here. So your average store revenue, your from Omnisend revenue, as well as your not from Omnisend revenue. So you can see, hey, is my email and SMS marketing from Omnisend, is that producing higher per ticket item or higher order rate or higher order amount, or lower than average? And is there any correlation there that you can tweak? Marketing performance, you'll also continue to see the breakdown of campaigns versus automations, which is nice. And you'll see in here, as well as we get down here a little bit further, is the channel performance. So this is a new thing. So number one requested thing we got on our new reporting was custom time period. A second or third one was the channel performance. The third was deliverability, and we'll get into that in a second. But on the channel performance, you can see here, again, revenue from Omnisend is here compared to the prior period. If you recall, I have this right now in 90 days. If you're looking at the annual reports or an annual time period, it'll compare to the prior annual period. So year over year, if you're doing month over month, we'll look at month over month, week over week. If you want to, you can do day by day. But this is the last 90 days and the prior 90 days. We'll separate that out by email, SMS, and web push. So now you can see in one place without having to go through and dig and write down numbers and copy and paste things. We give that to you right here on channel performance. Shame on us. The demo store for us, it's only running email. If you had SMS in here, you can toggle that on and off. You can toggle push notifications revenue on and off as well in here. So if you wanted to only see SMS and push, you can see that. If you want to see email, you can toggle your different channel on here as well. And then another big thing, a little bonus on the SMS, you can see the breakdown of the cost of SMS. So let's say you have, if you're on our pro plan, you get free SMS included in all of our pro plans. But let's say you have a separate, a lot of our clients who are really doing well on SMS have a separate standalone subscription to SMS. You can see the performance. You can see, hey, what was my total spend in that period on SMS? And you can see the breakdown from campaigns and automations. So it's not just one monolith number. You can actually see channel performance as well as are these coming from campaigns or automations. If you ever see Greg's reports that he does for us, which I think are fantastic, the benchmark reports, Greg, I think the number now is what, 2%, 2 to 3% of all messages we send are automated, and they're driving between 30, 35% of sales. Was that the latest number from Black Friday you said?
Yeah, it's going to be right. I think Black Friday was 30% on 2% of sends. So 30% of email orders, 2% of sends. Yep.
Yeah. So now we've always seen that in emails. Now we've brought that to SMS as well. So you can see, hey, if I'm spending, say, $300 in the last 90 days on SMS, how much of that 300 went to campaigns versus how much went to automations? Yeah. So that's the high level on the sales. Now we'll break out campaigns, automations, new reporting on forms, which you'll love, and then deliverability as well. Custom time periods, channel reporting, and deliverability were the top three things that we heard in those hundreds and hundreds of customer interviews that we did. People really wanted to see that, and then just make the charts more digestible so that you can take action on that. Here on the campaign side of things, we'll separate out a couple things here. Again, you'll see high level reporting. So if you're the owner of the store, you can see immediately what those metrics are. If you're an e-commerce marketer who's part of a larger team, or maybe if you're an agency or a freelancer and you're working on behalf of your clients, the thing that stands out to me here, and this was really great, I appreciated our product team taking this feedback, is they wanted this shareable. They wanted this to be, customers said, hey, we want this to be something that I can show the owner of the business, or I can show my manager or my boss, so, hey, here's the performance that we're having over time. We've made those outcomes much more visual. So you can see right here, the top number, or the most important metrics here up at the top. If you ever have questions, by the way, we did include a lot of definitions. Sometimes in e-commerce, acronyms and other things can get kind of pretty in-depth and pretty esoteric almost on the outside. We've given you those definitions for anything that's relevant in here. Again, in here, one of the nice things we added is that channel performance. So if you're sending email SMS or email SMS and push, you can separate your channel performance. So if I just want to see my email performance, boom, there you go. If I want to see SMS as well, or just isolate SMS, you can see that in there as well. I'm just going to choose email. Again, you can do custom time framing, custom periods. That's a huge add here. And that was one of the things that, frankly, we learned we were missing and what really want to make sure we included that in here. And let's say, again, if you want to do monthly, weekly, quarterly, annually, you can do those, right? So if you say, hey, monthly, you want to see those monthly trends, you can see that. If you want to see weekly trends, especially in the last couple of weeks, we got through Black Friday. Now we're into the holiday season. A lot of our clients and customers are operating just on weekly performance, not monthly, because October looked a lot different than November for our seasonality. You'll see your total revenue, number of orders placed, Revenue per order, this is something new. Revenue per order placed is a huge thing that our customers asked for. We've now delivered that. And then revenue per message sent. So if you're sending message, what's that revenue per message sent? Should you increase? Should you optimize? You can get that answer right here. Engagement metrics is new right here. This is overall. So these are overall sales on campaigns, what your engagement metrics are. Open, click, order placed rate is a new one as well. So you can see that. Again, you can isolate these metrics as well. So let's say you're just interested in, if you agree with us that the open rate is a little bit different this year as deliverability changes have come into effect with Google and Yahoo, that's there. But let's say you just want to report to your team on, or you as the owner want to, the brand owner want to just see that. You can see, hey, what is my order placement rate, right? You want to pay per click rate, you can see that. You can see trends in here, right? So you can see maybe open rate doesn't correlate to opens and orders or clicks and orders, but you can see here click rate and order rate is pretty correlated in here. You can see those numbers in here. So you can see all of that. Another big addition here is the start of our deliverability reporting. You've probably seen it over the last, say, 9 or 10 months. We started trickling that in different ways. What we did is we made all deliverability reporting a core part of the new engine here and the reporting. So you'll see in here, you'll see your messages sent, delivery rate, any failed deliveries, messages marked as spam, unsub rates are important for your domain reputation. We've brought those out of specialized reports that you had to kind of click through and find separately. We've brought that into the main dashboard here for you. So you can see failed deliverability if you see any outliers, and you can triage. Our supports are there 24 hours a day down here. Or you could also, if you have a customer success manager, you can always reach out to her or him and get information there as well. Campaign performance. This is something I love. Not only did we bring this out of this used to be in our advanced reporting on the pro plans. We've now brought this to all reporting, which I really like, but also added tests or added more information. So you can see the type of messages. Are you doing A/B tests, emails? If you had SMS, you'd see that, web push, date, sends, open rate, but also revenue and deliverability is now included in all of the campaign performance, which I really like. Again, trying to make this as digestible, easy to read, and impactful for you to take action in here. So you can see all the deliverability, all the revenue, all in one place rather than multiple different places. And then what used to be my favorite part of our advanced reporting is now in all reporting here, the channel trends. So you can see in here all the channels. Again, up top, I believe I isolated just for email. So let's say I had SMS and push in there as well. You'll see down here that you can look at your channel trends based on channel as well. So you can see sends, revenue, clicks, opens as well. And then segment performance. So this also used to be buried within separate reporting within reporting. We've now brought that to the forefront. You can see that up front where you can see all of your segment performance in your prescribed period. So for their demo store, we're only sending out internally. So we have one segment. You can see everything from opens, clicks, the legacy metrics to order placed, revenue, and your deliverability as well. Go back up to the top. The automations are going to be pretty similar. So I won't go through this as well. The automations tab is going to be basically what we just covered on our campaigns tab, just isolated for your automations. Again, engagement, deliverability, workflow performance instead of segment performance, those types of things in your trend lines as well. If you have any questions about those, we're always happy to help, but they're pretty similar, just similar to the campaigns, just isolated for automations. The forms. This is one thing that I really like about the new reporting was form reporting. So what are we doing with forms, right? So I'm going to show you, you can see here on mine, you can toggle a bunch of different things, both your different timelines. You can see different types. Like let's see, as you know now, Omnisend not only has pop-ups, but we have landing pages, we have embedded forms, we have flyouts, we have custom forms, we have all these different types of forms. You can see those in here and you can isolate. You can see we have a lot of forms that are in draft, disabled, enabled up here. Let's say I just wanted to isolate any of my enabled forms. So these are the ones that are live on my site today. You can look at the performance of those for views, submits, and submit rate. So you can compare and contrast. This is the way that you can A/B test those forms as well. You can see which ones are leading to the submit rate, which ones are leading to higher sign-up rates, and those types of things as well. And then last but not least, and if there are any questions, I'll come back to those. I'm in a different window right now, so we'll make sure we touch on those. The last one was surprisingly one of the biggest questions. To us, it was surprising, but we knew we needed to add this, is additional visibility into deliverability insights. This has become a major thing in the industry over the last 12. It's always been an important thing, but with the changes earlier this year to Google and Yahoo and other domains, email providers, this has become a huge area of focus for us as an organization, as well as for our customers, you as well. So we brought deliverability insights in here, directly in here. A couple key things. You're going to see the things that matter the most when it comes to deliverability. Again, you come and use Omnisend because we are the deliverability experts for you. Most of our customers say, hey, we don't know everything about deliverability. That's okay. We should. We have entire teams that are working on your behalf that are constantly making sure that we're out in front of any deliverability issues for each of our customers and highlighting those if they become an issue before they do permanent damage to anybody's reputation. That's important for you, and we take that as part of our responsibility as well. So in here, deliverability, you'll see email and SMS. I'm just going to focus on email because it's the most important right now. You'll see your status, so a health check. So up top, you'll see a health check. If you don't have a good health standing, there will be tips in here and ways to improve that. List cleaning, make sure that we're doing a warm-up for larger brands coming on and starting. You'll see your domain performance. If you have multiple domains, you'll see multiple domains in here. Key things in here to remember is what those unsub rates, spam rates, and deliverability issues. You can see right now it's pretty healthy on my test store, but for yours, you'll be able to see that. And if you have multiple domains you're sending to, maybe subdomains, you'll see those in here as well. When you have Google Postmaster connected, which I would encourage you to make sure you monitor, if you have questions, just let our support team know. But you'll see your Google Postmaster data in here as well. With the demo store, we don't have it. If you do have questions, happy to show anybody those, what that looks like on a store. I was going to show you one of our customer stores, but we don't like to show customer information in here as well. So you'll see yours in there. You can connect your Google Postmaster account there, and you'll see your deliverability metrics, which again, helps consolidate as much of what you need to manage email and SMS. We want you to put a lot of that into us and to trust us with that. And we're trying to give you the full picture there. And then sender domain, where you're at. If you have any issues, you'll see the issues here. You can see any email addresses that are verified or not verified. Again, a new big important thing this year. And then performance based on who you're sending to. So your email domain performance. So if you're sending to Google or Yahoo or AOL or Hotmail or different countries have different top level domains. You'll see your performance in here. So if you see an issue in here that maybe on Yahoo, you're seeing issues you're not seeing on Gmail. Sometimes we'll see that, right? So you know that, hey, there's an issue here you've got to address when it comes to Yahoo or Gmail or some Outlook. Outlook is notorious for being a problem child in email marketing, but you'll be able to see your performance here. You can see on our test domain we're sending to obviously our private domain. So we're sending here, we've got some pretty good health rate, 65%, 20% click rate. If you're getting a 20% click rate on emails, I want to learn from you. You should be learning from us. So that's a good thing. But here we are, and here you can see all of this on different domains. And then last but not least is list hygiene. This is something we incorporate in where we actually have a tool inside of Omnisend where you can do list cleaning. This is not a profit center for us. In fact, if you think about it, if we're helping you clean your list, it potentially has a way to decrease the amount you pay. We want to make sure that you have good hygiene so that you have good hygiene and you continue to perform at the best you can for your email deliverability, your metrics, and ultimately we're here to help you sell more. And if you have good domain reputation, good hygiene, we'll help you sell. That will help you sell more product and help you grow over time. So we do have the list cleaning tool inside of Omnisend, but it's not a profit center for us. We pass that along to a third party and they do that, but we just do that right in the platform for you. So again, you don't have to go out and Google who and how to clean your list. We'll help you do that. So that's an overview of our new reporting. Again, the key things I want to make sure you is it will be a separate beta report for the next 30 days. So you'll see that here as a separate report. You still have your legacy reporting. Nothing's going away at this point. You have 30 days before we turn it off. Hopefully in that time frame, you can get acquainted with the new visuals and the new reporting that gives you a lot more control and ownership of what you're doing, a lot more customization in here. We have custom time periods, deliverability, and channel performance. Those are the three big new ads. Lots of other little things sprinkled in there as well. So I'll pause there. And maybe we can go back to any questions that we have.
Yeah, Marty, thanks for the overview there. Really detailed, really good. I'd like to say that as a former practitioner and consultant, the reports now from a campaign level, so much better, right? I struggled with them before. We had internal conversations around that as well. Customers are reinforcing that, so much better. And I can't wait to see how much more improved it gets. I will say, for a deliverability standpoint, you spend some time there as well. Deliverability to me is kind of like a black hole, right? Like a space black hole, right?
Yeah.
I love space, so pardon the analogy, but like it's really mysterious. We kind of know how it works. We get a sense of it, but we don't know everything about it because there is a mystery to it. So I would say from a deliverability standpoint, changing email providers, it's not an elixir. You have bad deliverability. That's going to follow you. You touched on that as well. So I encourage anyone listening today to pay attention to that deliverability, those reports. And when you start to see, some of those early warning signs, address them right away. You mentioned them already. We have 24/7 live support for you. If you have a customer success manager you work with, contact them, clean your list regularly, right? Do things according to best practices there, and you'll really set yourself up for success. So Marty, one of the questions you touched on, we had a couple questions sent in before. You touched on one of them already. That was the Omnisend, not from Omnisend revenue. Another one we didn't really get to that came in before, someone that was playing around with it. I'll just read it, and if you want to address it, you could share your screen again if it makes sense to do so. You don't have to. But the question said, why are canceled orders and returns added in the revenue calculation?
Why are canceled orders and returns added into the revenue calculation? The shortest answer is because those happened after the fact, and the goal is you send messages out. What do you get in, right? So we have that in there right now because what we heard from customers, they want to hear, hey, what's actually impacting, what's making an impact to people to buy. What happens afterwards? A return or canceled order could be something different. Our main objective is to get you the facts of what's happening with the messages that you're sending out. So we include those refunds and cancellations in the sales numbers to maintain consistency across the board. And I would also say, I think this is something that's done pretty much around the industry as well, in different platforms as well. But it's really, what are we doing, right? We have no control over what does the UPS driver drop something, or if you were us this weekend, we didn't get a couple of orders delivered from Amazon. So it was like that had no impact on you, the seller. That's something different. What we are reporting on is the actions you took in our platform. What were the outcomes of that? So where those actions are being taken from. One thing on the Omnisend revenue, one note is everybody gets the same data, whether anybody that has connected to Shopify or BigCommerce or WooCommerce or Wix, anything, we all get the same ones and zeros. Any revenue that's directly attributed to your custom attribution window in Omnisend, you'll see. But we also want to show you everything else, so you have a full picture in one place. We want to try to eliminate the number of places you need to go to find that revenue information.
Perfect. Makes total sense. And the last question pre-submitted was regarding to the forums, right? So you kind of touch on the forums, you could break it down, toggle between the different types, but there is a note in there about submit rate versus sign up rate. So what's the difference between submit versus sign up rate?
Good question. Submit is anybody can submit it, right? That's a unique number of times somebody submitted something. But if Greg, you signed up for my website 5 times, you're only one sign up, right? You only count once in Omnisend. So submit rate is how many people did this, actually submitted whatever form that might be, versus sign up rate is how many new customers are you actually acquiring. So it's very unique elements in there for sure. The sign up metric is captured when that new contact comes in. But Greg, you might be on there. If you're a big Buffalo Bills fan, maybe you're signing up for the Josh Allen jersey giveaway 5 different times just for good luck. That's 5 submissions, but only 1 sign up. We'll only count you 1 time.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that 10% discount 5 different times.
Good luck. Hey, one
Bills.
thing I wanted to say, there was a question in the comments I just looked at from Natalie. There's an answer in there. A little bit more information is you actually do have ownership of when you refresh. So forgive me, I know we're 2 minutes over, but if you're still with us, I want to give you a little bit of a bonus here. So you'll see one quick thing in here of how you can compare in near real time. Let's make sure I give you the right one here. So I'll show you real quick, Natalie, and sales. And you asked, I think, about campaigns specifically. You'll see specifically when the last update was on your reporting, and you can always refresh this. So this is actually something new. I didn't even think to share, but you can actually control this. So you'll see when the last refresh data, when the last time the data was refreshed. So if you sent an email out 20 minutes ago and you want to see up-to-date reporting, you can do that right here. So you can see this. You can refresh your data right there. And if you have different campaigns, you can see how those different campaigns are performing. Let's say, less than a minute ago, you probably don't want to refresh all the time. We're going to refresh it when you go through the different tabs. So great question. You actually have the ability here now to actually click refresh, and you can refresh your data, and we'll rerun the data. That's one thing behind the scenes. Entity versus events-based architecture even goes over my head, but now we give a lot more flexibility here for you, the user.
Awesome. Great. If anyone else has any additional questions, we don't see any more in here, please contact us. Let us know. We're here to help. You can see on the screen share, and if you log into Omnisend, you see that beta tag next to it, right? So we are continuing to improve these things. There will be more to come. But we have these things internally called usability days, where different departments actually just play around in Omnisend. And we look for things that either don't make sense, they're a little confusing, and we just make adjustments to those. We just had a couple of those, made tons of product enhancements to it. I would encourage you guys to do the same and do that usability for us. So as you're playing around with new reporting, if something doesn't make sense, you find something's not working quite well, please let us know. Contact support, customer success manager, whatever it is. Find one of us on LinkedIn and let us know. We'll pass that support. We'll pass that feedback over. So be a part of the solution, right? As they say. So please let us know how we're doing. And of course, we always listen to any feedback or recommendations as well beyond that. So with that being said, thank you for attending today's webinar. I'm sure we'll have a recording at some point as well. For anyone who signed up, we'll send that out to you. So if you missed it, had to log off early. You're now watching this in the past or in the future. Let us know. Marty, any closing comments you want to make for anyone?
Send the email. More emails equals more sales, whether we like it or not. It definitely works. And we're excited to hear the feedback. So if you do have feedback, as Greg mentioned, it's a beta. We still want continuous feedback. And this is a product of hundreds and hundreds of customer interviews, not trying to be the most comprehensive X, Y, or Z or better than Y. We listen to you, our customers, first and foremost. And we thrive on your feedback.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and have a great day and great weekend.
Cheers.